Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. BBC News Africa is coming out to expose William Samoei Ruto. And the basis of their news is just to say that now some Kenyans are mockingly referring to President William Ruto as Zakayo, a Swahili word for the biblical figure named Zakayo, who is portrayed in the Christian holy book as a greedy tax collector who climbed a tree to see Jesus. That is the narrative. Now, this is because during the electioneering period, Mr. Ruto has introduced a raft kind of war with his boss, Uhuru Kenyatta. And the reason behind this was because William Ruto claimed that Uhuru Kenyatta was oppressing Kenyans with high taxation that was meddling the prices of fuel in the Republic of Kenya.
Nataka niwaambie hii mafuta inaongezwa usiku na mchana. Mimi nataka niwaeleze ya kwamba these people don't understand the damage they are doing to the people and the economy of Kenya. Kwa hii taxes wanaongeza usiku na mchana. Na mimi nataka niwaulize watu wa hapa Manga, tafadhali, mkiona tumesimama hapa mbele yenu, tunawaambia ya kwamba tutengeneze hiyo serikali inakuja ambayo inaelewa lugha ya mwananchi wa kawaida. Watu wa Manga, mko tayari?
Even despite of that, Mr. William Samoei Ruto was so eloquent and robust when it comes to whatever he was going to do to Kenyans. But as per what you're seeing today is definitely opposite to the expectations of Kenyans as we speak now. During the presidential debate, you saw William Ruto coming out to say that he was having an idea on how to reduce the taxes, or even if the business partners of the Republic of Kenya were going to agree, at least they renegotiate the kind of principles and policies, then he was ready. And that is how William Ruto came out saying during the presidential debate.
What do you think is the solution to the rising cost of fuel, which, as you know, drives the cost of a number of other products?
I think the first thing that we need to do is to look at the taxes, because 50% almost of the cost of fuel in Kenya is taxes. I think it's time, as a country, we looked at, I think there are 15 different taxes on fuel. And I think it's time we relooked at how else do we raise revenue.
Which taxes would you be proposing to remove from fuel, the cost of fuel?
I think majority of the taxes that are in that bracket, I think there are almost 15 different taxes that are there. I do not have the specifics, but those 15, I think we need to interrogate these 15 different taxes. Which ones can we put aside so that, like other countries, we can limit the taxation on fuel? Take, for example,
let me ask, yeah, let me yes, okay,
take, for example, VAT.
Correct.
I think we need to rethink taxation, VAT taxation on fuel. That was the latest inclusion of taxes on fuel. And I think it was very controversial.
Yeah, Honorable Ruto, VAT on petroleum products was indeed controversial. Let me take you back to 2013 when VAT was imposed on this as a condition by IMF. At the time, then Majority Leader Aden Duale said, and I quote, "The 181 members have been convinced by our party leader and our deputy party leader on the rationale of 8% VAT on petroleum products. He went on to say, 181 is a very big number, and we will convince our members from the NASA side. So you, at this point in the year 2015, I believe, when this was passed, were pushing for 8% to be added on VAT. Today, you are saying you want to abolish VAT on petroleum products. Why should Kenyans believe you today?
Why wouldn't they? I mean, we live in a dynamic country, and it's only fools who don't change their mind. If you are in a situation where the price of fuel has gone to 160, I mean, it's time to think. I mean, when this VAT was imposed, then the price of fuel was under 100.
Honorable Ruto, when the VAT was imposed, it was at the time a condition by IMF when we were seeking a precautionary facility. Today we find ourselves in the exact same position with a third tranche of an IMF facility, and once again they are calling for the same issue that we are facing with VAT then is the same one we are facing now. And at the point, IMF has in fact said that we do not need to be removing taxes on petroleum products. So with an IMF facility already in place, are you then saying you are going to go back to the IMF and renegotiate the terms of that loan that is already in place regarding IMF VAT on fuel products?
What's wrong with negotiating with IMF? I think any reasonable government, looking at the situation where we are, looking at the cost of living and how many Kenyans are every day sinking below the poverty line, I think it takes a courageous government to sit down with our development partners, and they are fairly reasonable people, and have a discussion. And I think they are, if not 8%, we need to renegotiate on some of the items that are outstanding. And apart from looking at that, there are other instruments that we can deploy. For example, we have the fuel subsidy fund. We need to think about how that fund is being used, how we are deploying it. Are we deploying it correctly? Is it giving?
Now, we are having another William Samoei Ruto, not the other William Ruto that we had during electioneering period. But again, on Sunday, last Sunday, we had an inclusive interview by several media houses where William Ruto was shedding headlines on how he is soldiering on with his agendas and ideology in the Republic of Kenya. But as per what William Ruto came out to say, he went against his promise during electioneering period, as William Ruto is saying this.
While it is true that I can tomorrow say, let us reduce the taxes, it is also true that tomorrow, for every 10 shillings I collect, every 10 shillings, 7 shillings go to paying debt. Are you telling me that you want me to do what other countries have done, to default on debt? Because that's the only option I have. I can say, okay, let us pay less, and then let's tell the international community Kenya cannot service debt. Is that what you want us to do? That would be very...
Mr. President, that's what I was asking you.
So precisely, you cannot say, it is simplistic for you to say, yes, the government can, 40% of fuel is taxes. The government can decide tomorrow to lower the taxes. But you know, those taxes we are collecting, we have education to fund. First, we have 7 shillings for every 10 to pay debt, which William Ruto did not accumulate, right? Number 2, the 3 other shillings, we have to pay our children to go to school. We have to manage our security. We have to manage our health. We have to manage
everything else. We have to pay our teachers. So are you telling me I go and tell teachers, I don't have salary for you this month because I have to reduce the price of fuel? Do you think that would be reasonable?
William Ruto is coming out to say that he's not going to lower the taxation. And in fact, Mr. William Ruto has come out to introduce a raft of new taxes and raised old ones since he was elected as the president in August 2022. But again, this is something that is making him unpopular with many Kenyans who believe he has betrayed his campaign pledge to, of course, to champion the interest of hustlers and those who struggle financially. Mr. Ruto has acknowledged that the taxes are painful, but in an Independence Day speech on 12th December, again, Ruto said the sacrifices the nation was making will make our freedom fighters proud. That is whatever William Ruto said. So for him, higher taxation is necessary to reduce government borrowing and bring down the national debt, which has soared to 10 trillion shillings. And that is $65 billion. Now, as BBC is coming out to shed highlights, is that many Kenyans are not in agreement with William Samoei Ruto, because the paying of taxes dominate everyday conversations, especially with the rising cost of living. But again, as my opinion, Kenyans are also saying that the taxes are only helping to fund extravagance in government rather than improve public service. So this perception has grown bigger and bigger, especially after Kenya's controller of budget, an independent office that oversees the use of public funds, recently said that over the high taxation amid wasteful spending include on domestic and international travel by government officials. In other words, there is a wasteful spending and also domestic and international travel by government officials that, of course, they are misusing the public resources. But what they're coming up, or rather, what they are coming back with from these foreign countries, we don't see them. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think? Is William Ruto having a right trajectory? Or what do you think? Drop your opinion at the comment section below. Otherwise, thank you so much because of the support. Please consider subscribing, liking, commenting, and sharing this video. And by the way, I want to appreciate you so much because of your great support of this year 2023. As 2024 is loading, I want to say that I'm grateful. If it was not you, we could have not reached this milestone that we are. I remember when we started, it was not easy. Some people came out mocking me, wengine wananitusi, wengine wanasema yote. But kwa yale yote, mimi nashukuru sana kwa ile support, mmesupporti channel. Na tukue na hiyo moyo, you know. I'm a human being, I'm not perfect. I always come out to share my opinion and not to show that I'm perfect, I know everything. I don't know, but I'm just trying to give my opinion. This is my opinion after at least I've done my research, but some people are just coming out to mock me, but it's okay. That is part of growing, and I'm happy about that, because upon the growth, you must have those who will criticize you positively and negatively. So may God bless you so much because of your support of this year 2023. As 2024 is loading, I expect for your great support again. May God bless you. Bye bye till we meet on another video.